So, okay. It's
Wow.
over. It's over. Summer is
Summer is
over.
over.
Well, you know what that means?
No.
It's all
We get
over.
NFL football.
We'll need to just console ourselves with you beautiful people. Hello, this is Kino Therapy.
Yes.
Hello,
Welcome back.
welcome guys. Welcome back to some more film talk, and now football talk is back now.
Yes, we are we are post Labor Day, post summer 2024.
Yep.
Yeah. As you guys know, we don't just talk about sports. No, sorry, I was going to say this in the opposite direction. I was starting to say it in one direction. We don't just talk about film, but we also talk about sports. Take it away, Alex.
Yeah,
Okay,
Alex.
so
Go ahead.
last week, the Patriots finally announced who they're going to start as quarterback. And that is none other than Jacoby Brissett. He's been with us before, so I think we'll do okay with him to start, and then see where the season goes from there. The Pittsburgh Steelers also announced Russell Wilson's going to be their guy. And on Sunday, September 8th, the Patriots have a game against Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati.
Yes, we're on to Cincinnati without Bill Belichick for the first time in 23 years.
It's crazy.
Or 24 years. Yeah.
24. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I know.
And I also had my fantasy football draft last night. I will share my team.
Give us the deets. Give us who you got.
Yeah, who do you got?
So I got Joe Burrow as my quarterback. Christian McCaffrey.
So do I.
I also got Christian McCaffrey and Travis Etienne. Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Evan Ingram, Cooper Kupp, the 49ers defense, and Justin Tucker. And then I also got David Montgomery, Terry McLaurin, Tony Pollard, Jared Goff, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Alligator. It's Alligator, but I say Tyler Alligator, and Pat Freiermuth. So it looks like a good team overall. I had the first pick, and I picked Christian McCaffrey with it, and then kind of just went with it from there.
Nice. I briefly have. Oh, go ahead.
Before you say yours, I want to also say that the NFL released a hype video today, and Taylor Swift was in it more times than actual football players.
We know you love that. You're. I bet you're a secret Swiftie.
Closeted Swiftie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, that's a fun fact.
Because I said that to Matt today.
You did. I didn't think that it was going to come up, but now it has. Very interesting.
They met the SNL.
So yeah, when you're ready, you can admit your love of Taylor Swift. And
shut
music.
up! Never.
Your favorite era, your favorite album, your favorite song.
Yeah.
But Zach, wouldn't you agree that that's stupid?
No, it is. She has nothing to do with football. It should be left alone.
Oh,
that's like
Alex is definitely a lover.
No,
that's like when Madonna was dating was it A-Rod or Derek Jeter? It was some Yankee player. That's like them doing MLB hype video, and they show Madonna all the time in the stands more often than the actual players in baseball.
Oh, I get this. Taylor Swift has apparently been drawing up plays for the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes is all, we might actually have to use one, and I don't want to hear him be...
Alex, you're going to do your Kermit the Frog impression.
Oh, hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. It's Patrick Mahomes here. But yeah...
Kermit the Frog here. Yeah, that's a very good play you've drawn there, Taylor. I think we'll use that.
And then he'll be a crybaby if it loses. If it
and
fails.
His wife.
Yep. You can't, and then he'll blame the refs for everything, and then I'll have to call him a wambulance.
What do you think the Chiefs will be good this year, Alex?
Unfortunately, yes.
It's like the Patriots, right? With Tom Brady. It's getting that close again. I don't know.
No, but I mean, like, I didn't hate it when the Patriots were that good, but I see now why people are annoyed that the Patriots were in it so much.
Right. Well, it also to defend the Patriots, we were in one of the worst divisions in football, so there wasn't really much
Yeah,
competition there.
no one has won the division uh, other than the Bills since 2020. So
And who won in 2020? Because that was COVID.
it was Buffalo. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it was Buffalo. Who was before Buffalo? Did Miami win or was it us?
No, like the last time the Patriots won the AFC East was in 2019, but it's been the Bills ever
It's been the
since.
Bills ever since. Right. And it was the Patriots every year except for some years where they
Yeah, there was
underperformed.
one year where the Jets won, and then there was
and
another year Miami won. So
Miami
yes.
won. Yeah. Yeah.
So the Aaron Rodgers people, the Jets are not winning the AFC East. Like, let's calm down just a little bit.
Are they making the wild card though?
I don't no. Like Aaron Rodgers, when it comes to the playoffs,
I like that. You're like, no.
No, Aaron Rodgers, when he's in the playoffs, he chokes so hard.
I mean, Alex and I agree on a lot of people. We hate the similar people. Hate's a strong word. We dislike a lot of the same people in the NFL, but the one person that I've seems to always come up in our conversations about people we dislike in the NFL is either Patrick Mahomes, who we mentioned, and Aaron Rodgers.
And he doesn't play, they don't play anymore, but the Mannings.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that the third is the Mannings.
Yeah, we do not like them.
No. And we will not watch
Uh,
their show unless it's like a celebrity on it.
Yes. I also do not like Travis Kelce as of late.
Well,
Oh, that's
you
just
actually
because you're
do.
jealous.
He does like Travis Kelce, or he doesn't like Travis Kelce because he wants Taylor all for himself.
Oh,
Exactly.
shut
We know
up.
your
Shut
game.
up. I know you're gaslighting me.
No, just teasing you.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, we are. Because we love you.
Why, thank you.
Just like he loves Taylor Swift. All right, that's enough.
So, Zach, were you going to share your fantasy team?
Oh yeah, just quick. My fantasy is Joe Burrow, quarterback, Derrick Henry, running back, Jay Mixon, running back, A Brown, wide
AJ
receiver.
Brown.
Yeah, Mike Evans, wide receiver. George Kittle as the tight end. DJ Moore as the wide receiver. The Lions D/ST and Jay Tucker kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. And my bench is T Conklin as tight end for the Jets. Jay Dobbins for the running back for the Chargers. Ezekiel Elliott running back for Dallas.
Oh,
A.
God.
Jones running back for the Minnesota Vikings. D. Mooney for the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver. And T. Spears running back for the Tennessee Titans. And X. Worthy wide receiver for the Chiefs. So Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. Oh, Joe Mixon.
Oh, sorry, the first names because I didn't want to
Yeah.
click on them. So
Yeah,
Tyler
no, that's okay.
Conklin, J.K. Dobbins, Ezekiel Elliott, I said, Aaron Jones, Darnell Mooney, Ty J. Spears, and Xavier Worthy. Yep.
Yeah, no, you got a good team there.
Come up
Good
to
luck
the front and grab your diploma.
you.
You have
Yes.
just graduated into Zach's lineup.
Yep, my
And this
first
is,
lineup. I've never did fantasy before, so this is a pretty historic year for me.
There we go.
So we'll say this. Good luck to everyone in fantasy football this year.
Yeah, good luck. I hope you all win or come close to winning.
Yeah, there we go. Can I take a moment? I think I need a new chair. Can you hear my squeak? Hold on, be quiet.
A little bit.
A little, but not really.
Oh,
I didn't notice it until you brought it
oh,
up.
hold on. Shh.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. Uh, anyway,
Yeah.
did you have something other to say, Alex?
Yeah,
Any
so
more football stuff before you?
no, I think that's it.
Nice, yeah. NFL season. Everybody enjoy the games.
One more thing I forgot. Bailey Zappi is no longer on the Patriots, so bye, motherfucker.
And neither is Mac Jones. Bye,
Bye
motherfucker.
bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye
David Spade.
bye.
Bye bye. SNL. Bye bye. Oh, that was another skit out.
So
I forgot to show you. Side note.
what?
The side note was just unrelated. That when before the next thing you're going to talk about, when we were watching said show's skits, I was going to show you. I forgot to show you David Spade's SNL moments.
Oh, well, maybe next time we meet someone from Modern Family.
Yeah, next
Which
time.
Wait, you met
which
someone from Modern
I'm
Family?
about
I'm
to
not
se-
reading this off my hand.
I'm about to segue into that.
Oh
So
wow.
Zach and I went on a little day trip to New York a couple of weeks ago. We saw that Sarah Hyland was in a little production called Little Shop of Horrors. So we decided to
Yeah,
go.
I'm sure none of you have heard of it before.
It's just about a talking plant who, ravages on human flesh.
And sings like a soul singer.
Delicious.
So, we went to the show. We liked the show, and we met the star of the show, who's also on Modern Family, Sarah Hyland.
Who plays Haley Dunphy on the show.
And I had a shirt on with all my Modern Family characters on it. She said something. She said she loved it.
Yep,
And
yep, and I said to her, my friend and I love your Modern Family," and she said, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate that."
I think I said something along those lines to her as well.
Yeah, you did. I think it was so
Yeah.
quick. Well, not quick, but we got to. She signed our playbills, which you get after you see a show. If those of you that aren't into, I really sound like a theater snob there. When you get
Well,
You-
these things,
for those of you plebeians who don't know,
who don't go to the theater,
yeah.
And my playbill is now framed because it's signed by her.
There
yep.
we go.
And don't
Like,
forget the boy from No Hard Feelings we met too, Alex.
yes, Andrew Barth Feldman. He was a nice guy too, but he was kind of in a rush. But that's
Yeah.
okay. We cared more about Sarah Hyland.
Right. That's why
Anyway.
we made the whole trip. So
Well, and I cut the cover off my playbill because it was too thick to frame, and
yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
You just need the thickest of frames. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with frames, but maybe there was another one you could have got, but it doesn't matter. You figured it out.
yeah. So yeah. Oh, and then that will segue.
Maybe, hopefully, we'll have an audience member who is into frames that can tell us that it's something about it. How's our audience retention?
It's getting
Um, well,
better.
Okay,
well,
cool.
to be fair, you can cut this out, but I'm almost done completing, and it's almost ready to go. The Facebook page, so I will within a week or so make you guys along with Ben, although I don't think he really uses Facebook, administrators where you can have fun and do whatever you want with it.
All right. So,
Yeah.
if you hear this already, it might be up. Right, Zach.
Yes, it might be up. Yes,
It might
probably
might be
within
up.
a
I'm
week or
sorry,
two.
you said cut this, but you know what? If it's a social media
Yeah.
announcement, then we might as well keep it in.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
We're
So,
on Facebook, so tell your boomers to go like our page or whatever.
or your film geeks, your film buffs, your film snobs, your DF level actors that are trying to make it into the business. If you
Hey,
know anybody that works in the industry, people that work in movie theaters, shout out to them.
yeah,
So basically, I met
tell
someone.
us. Hey, I got this podcast about a couple of guys who goof around and talk about film, football, and other
And
topics
other topics.
like
Modern Family.
Modern Family, Best
Ed
Picture
Wood.
winners, gay furries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was awesome because I haven't met a celebrity like that since. I mean, I used to go to Comic Cons sometimes just around New England, and the last person I met was, I'm trying to think back
Was
now.
it Sean
Oh,
Astin?
it was Sean Astin, Elijah Wood, and Andy Serkis from Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they were the last famous people I met until Sarah Hyland. So thank you,
Was were
Alex.
you, yes. But let me ask you this: was like if you were to meet one of them again, would you say Sarah Hyland or the Lord of the Rings cast?
Um,
You could say
probably,
both.
probably both. I would probably say more. I'd probably say both. Yeah,
Yeah.
too hard to choose.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I can say I met someone from my favorite show, and yeah,
Hmm. If there's any people from the office at any of those Comic Cons, Alex, because I still keep track of them, I'll let you know.
mm. Yeah, no,
Because
I'd like to meet.
they did come before. I believe Stanley came, Angela, um, yeah, a few other Phyllis I think came.
Yeah, no, I kind of like. I want to meet Rainn Wilson one of these days. He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he does. I don't remember him seeing him in the Comic Con lists, but he could do the cons. I'm not sure.
But yeah, then I
People go
watched,
crazy.
and then after I met Sarah Hyland, I watched a DCOM movie of hers, um, with a piece of shit human being.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh, you got to be more specific than that.
oh, basically, she was just in an abusive relationship with this guy, and they worked together sometimes, and
Yeah. Yeah, he was on Modern Family for an episode.
No naming, so we're just subtweeting right now. So
yeah, pretty
And then you
much.
saw some of her other movies, didn't you? Or at least ones you had access
Yeah,
to.
the ones I had access to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, even in the streaming world. Am I right, Matt? Finding some movies is hard.
Well, she's not in a lot of
yeah,
movies.
exactly. Since some things are geo-locked, which is why we have our sponsor Surfshark VPN. No, we got to get a sponsor.
Yeah, we got to get
Maybe we should
sponsors.
get
Get somebody get
sponsors.
on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We'll let Ben do that.
yeah. So Ben, if
Yeah.
you're listening, I hope you're editing this. Ben,
Yeah, I
get
know.
on it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call him out.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, Ben couldn't make it.
Which is okay because I didn't make it on the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely go to. I don't mean to steal your thunder, Alex. Definitely, if you can ever make the trip to New York City, go at least once. I recommend that. Even if you
Yeah.
hate it, just go.
Oh, what else did you guys do in the Big Apple?
Oh yeah, Alex, go ahead.
We did an NBC studio tour where we saw the sets of Saturday Night Live and The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Nice.
Oh, we also saw the Kelly Clarkson show, not the show, but the like where it was or used to be, and now they're moving it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
That and
we saw some of the news stuff, right, Alex?
yeah,
Like the NBC News, MSNBC.
and the Today Show.
Yep.
And we saw something called Muppet Pipes.
Muppet Pipes?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, Matt will like
Muppet
this. Talk
Pipes.
about this, Alex.
So basically, uh, they were asked to paint. Okay, so
So this is something they don't really show on the tour
yeah,
unless there's
no,
like a
you'll
waiting
probably be better
time.
at explaining this than I would.
So it's so we were waiting for another group to go, but we had to wait. So we stopped at this like this like artifact, and it was these pipes that were colored like Muppets. So apparently, which you'll see, I don't mean to name drop movies that are coming out, but if this will make more sense later in context. Jim
Mhm.
Henson created the Muppets before he did the Muppet Show, was a reoccurring guest and performer on Saturday Night Live in the 70s. So, because he was just a featured part of SNL and not a cast member, sometimes his stuff would not make the show. He had this reoccurring skit called The Land of Gorge, which is basically like, I guess you could say, is like a PG-13 R-rated version of the Muppets. And
Yeah, that's a good way to
yeah,
put it.
yeah, have you seen those clips, Alex?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're not that good. Don't waste your time. But anyway, so these pipes, so because the Muppet Crew, it wasn't just Jim Henson, there was some other performers, probably Frank Oz and maybe some other people, puppeteers, where sometimes Warren Michaels, creator of SNL, would either cut the Muppets part of the show or would kind of include them last minute. So the Muppet performers, in order to like kill time, saw these pipes on, I believe it was what, Alex? Was it the ceiling or just part of the
Something
wall?
like that, yeah.
So they found these random pipes that were just sticking out that weren't that important. So they colored these pipes to look like Muppets because they were so bored, because sometimes their material would make SNL in the 70s and sometimes it wouldn't. So they colored and made these pipes look as close as they could to actual or similar to the Muppets. So then someone, I guess, preserved that, and now it's part of the NBC studio tour.
Yeah.
Hmm. Huh.
And then there was like a little clip of Kermit when he was on the Tonight Show.
Which is only
Years
shown on that tour, I think.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's what they said.
The Jim Henson estate only allows that in the tour. Kermit's first appearance on The Tonight Show.
And we decided to go on this tour because we both watched the show 30 Rock this summer. So
Yes, which is about, briefly, it's about Tina Fey from Saturday Night Live, loosely based on her experiences working on Saturday Night Live at 30 Rock, which is where we did the tour of the building.
but they didn't name drop that show, which I thought was bizarre. But
Because
that's
it's real.
exactly.
It's all
Yes,
real.
it's all real. Kenneth
Yeah.
is a real page.
But
I
yeah,
tried. Yeah,
that was a fun day.
it was.
Did you go out to eat? Did you have anything to eat? Did
We
you see
didn't
any
really have
sights?
time to
We didn't really
do.
have time, so we had to kind of grab stuff on the go. So we grabbed some Mickey D's before we saw Little Shop of Horrors. Then we were gonna go to this deli place, but some guy was being a real jerk and closed up his shop 10 minutes before 6 o'clock when he was supposed to close. So then we
You
had to
know
eat
what?
these hot
Let
dogs.
him get the bag. Nah, I'm just
And we ate some
Yeah,
hot
no,
dogs we found.
it pissed me off about that. Pissed me off.
some good New York hot dogs. Are they good?
They were all right, Alex?
Yeah,
I mean, we could have probably had better, but it did for on a
it
short
did.
circumstance.
Yeah, that's the only thing I wish we had more time for, but we did. We did all right.
Yeah, the only thing I would have said, Alex, is we might the only, but then we wouldn't be able to go back to the 30 Rock, because when I went to New York in November for the day, we ate before we saw the show that we were going to see, and then we went home after that. So we could have had some type of dinner or meal after we saw the show, but we went back to the shop.
Yeah, because we didn't have time before the show. I remember that.
Yeah, we didn't have time before the show because we did the tour, and then we kind of had to go right to the show.
Yeah, yeah, but it was a
I was just thinking about that.
yeah.
Hopefully, you didn't starve.
No, I mean like we brought food. We know what
You
to do.
ate my only food. Now
No,
I'm gonna starve.
yeah, but we know what to do next time and
Yeah, we
all that.
brought snack. We brought snacks. We made do. We had the hot dogs were at the bus station, and we had our McDonald's after the tour, so it worked out.
Yeah.
Alex, you were good at quick thinking about both meals, so
Yes.
but yeah,
But yeah,
it was a great
pretty
day.
much.
Fun.
Yes, it was. That wraps up my thing. Who's next?
I am.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, something I've been working on for quite a while, probably almost 10 years now, was my quest to see all the films that have won the Academy Award, Oscar for Best Picture. So
So
yeah,
proud you were able to do it.
I know it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And you guys helped me do that last year when my final movie I watched was The Departed. I thought it'd be good.
It's
Yep.
Massachusetts. It's The Departed.
It's The Departed because we're
Yeah.
Massachusetts located. Um, yes. So, Massachusetts part's unknown, but anyway, um, The Departed was my final movie of the 97, including you're probably like 97, but the 97th Oscars hasn't happened yet.
Mm.
There were two
Right.
winners in the first ceremony, although they typically say
Oh, do
Wings
you
was the
want
best
do you want
picture
me to
winner.
go through the
Oh,
history?
you can go through the history briefly, yeah.
Okay, so the first Academy Awards were in 1929, and they covered the films from the last half of 1927 and the early part of 1928. So it was around from September 1927 to
Yeah,
late August 1928. That was
yes.
the cutoff. So when the films were released. So in the very first Oscar ceremony, there was very few awards, but they had two uh, picture categories. One was outstanding uh, picture. I don't think it was outstanding production just yet.
No, it wasn't.
Um, and then the other one was for uh, Best Unique and Artistic Production. So
Yeah.
at the very first Academy Awards, Outstanding Picture, the nominees were the Racket, which I believe is a early gangster film,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
uh,
that. Yeah.
Seventh Heaven, which is a Frank Borges film,
Mhm.
starring Janet Gaynor, who won Best
Yep.
Actress that year for three roles that year.
Which they
They
don't do
usually
anymore. Yep.
they don't do this anymore, but they also combined like, oh, if you had like a body of work that year, they would include that as part of your award. So she was nominated for Seventh Heaven, a film I'm gonna mention later, and also what was the other one? Street Angel.
Yeah, Street Angel. Yeah.
Yes, and the other film nominated in Outstanding Picture was Wings, which is considered the first Oscar winner for Best Picture.
Yes.
And in the second award, Best Unique Artistic Production, which is its only time we've ever had this award,
Hmm.
the nominees were Chang, A Drama of the Wilderness, which is actually like a early
A documentary, right?
documentary. So it's probably one of the first like best picture-esque documentaries, but it's not really well remembered, especially considering the two other movies that it was up
Right.
against in this category. There was The Crowd, which is a one of King Vidor's masterpieces about an average Joe's life
Oh, yeah. One of the early,
in the city.
one of the early big directors in Hollywood. Yeah, King Vidor.
And the one that won the this category, which was Sunrise, a song of two humans, uh, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful silent film from F.W. Murnau. I'm hoping I can do a segment on him sometime this year on the pod.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
At
great.
least sometime before uh,
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Yeah.
So I could talk about Nosferatu, his body of work in Germany and eventually in the United States, as
Hmm.
well as the film Shadow of the Vampire. Um, is that what it's called? You know, the one with
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Shadow Vamp. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Hmm. Yeah. Thank you,
so
Matt. That was
yeah, so
yeah.
they had two categories, and I'm assuming you include both Wings and Sunrise in this.
I do. Yes, because I wanted to be consistent, and I on my letterbox account I had for a long time. I had, let's see, I gotta go back to it. On profile, it said seen. I used to say seen whatever 95 or 94 out of 97 Best Picture winners. But then I changed it when I completed it last year, thanks to these guys and our other friends with watching it potted.
Hey.
I changed it to, and then then I changed it again after Oppenheimer won Best Picture this year. Oppenheimer and my eyes see Oppenheimer. That was my really bad Al Pacino impression presenting Oppenheimer Best Picture. But anyway, so now to see every movie that won the Oscar for Best Picture, 97 out of 97, including Sunrise, the Song of Two Humans, which was, as Matt explained, was the other best movie best movie production award. Although that was the only time it was awarded, which I don't know. I feel like, side note, I kind of dig that category. I'd be curious to see how they would do that in the 21st century.
Right.
Like, I wonder if the more indie movies would be in that category, and then the more mainstream pop movies would be in Best Picture. But it's probably good, because then if you have them separate, they're like, oh, what? These indie movies aren't good for Best Picture, so it's probably good how they have it. But anyway, so I ranked all the Best Picture winners I watched.
He ranked them, folks, but not in the way you think.
Not in the way you think.
Explain,
So-
Lucy. Explain.
Yeah, so I should have included this on my. I should have included this on my list. I was. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, but anyway, so this ranking is what you would think with a twist. So I ranked them typically by, I had some criteria. So my criteria was, are these movies great? Yes. I would say 90% of these movies are great. 10% are just okay. I'm not going to say they're horrible, because, I mean, it was different time periods that they won in, but anyway, and different movies up. But so I went by, is it a great movie? Second, I went by, has it stood the test of time? Third, did it deserve to win Best Picture that year against the other movies? And four, I kind of like going off of if it was it popular at that time, those movies. Like, was it critically acclaimed at that time, or was it critically acclaimed, like, if it was critically acclaimed after the time, that was also something I considered too. But obviously back then you couldn't predict some movies if they would stand the test of time, especially some of these Best Picture winners. But so do you guys want to take a look at it before I'm gonna probably just focus on the top 10, but
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Oh, but
All
what
right.
about these bottom five?
Okay.
These
So-
clunkers right here.
So these clunkers was actually how I did the list. So I started from the bottom. Now we're here. I started from the bottom, movies that are typically ranked as some of the worst Best Picture winners, and then just segued off of that this summer. It was kind of a side project I did to keep myself busy this summer, despite I was already
Nice.
busy. I was already busy enough, as you guys know, but a little too busy. But anyway, so my bottom five were: Cimarron is the worst Best Picture winner in my ranking criteria. The second worst was Cavalcade. The third worst was the Broadway Melody. The fourth worst was Cecil B. DeMille's The Greatest Show on Earth. And the fifth worst was The Great Ziegfeld.
You said something to me about how The Greatest Show on Earth is considered like the worst one, or something like
Yes.
that.
It's considered one of the worst because it's like it was up against High Noon, which is a better movie, and also Singing in the Rain wasn't nominated. Although
For anything.
no, it was nominated for
Oh,
stuff.
it was. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just not Best Picture, is that what you're saying?
That's a misconception. That's a misconception from my part.
It wasn't nominated. It was a supporting actress and I don't know some
Some sound, technical category, maybe.
sound, some technical category, maybe one or two of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I forgot she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
It's great. This is a great role. This is a great
It is.
performance there. Anyway, so I mean, it was up against like a lot of good stuff that year, and it's kind of like,
Oh yeah, tell
it,
Alex your theory about why it won.
okay, so there's two. I think there's two running theories on why Greatest Show on Earth won, and I think I talked about it when on the pod, right, when we
yeah, but
saw when the
enlighten me
Fablemans came out.
anyway.
Oh yeah, when we saw the
Uh,
Fablemans, yeah.
yeah. So it's okay. It's probably like an hour too long. It's
What's up? Like
at
some of these
times
movies on this list.
at times it feels like a documentary with Cecil B. DeMille narrating about the life of circus people, and then it becomes like a very standard melodrama, and then it's got that third act with that fucking fantastic train collision sequence, which is amazing and is the reason why Spielberg became a film director. So
Yes,
bravo for that. I mean, it's a fantastic sequence,
it is
but it really isn't that
groundbreaking.
amazing of a film for
It's
being a
time, or
best picture winner. And what I think is, while I don't even know how acclaimed it was
I don't even think it
minorly
did that.
acclaimed at the time,
I
but
don't even think
not,
it did that well commercially when it at the time.
yeah, not as big as like some other movies that are like The Quiet Man or High
Or his
Noon
next
or
movie,
um
Cecil DeMille's next movie that came out, which I'm getting ahead of myself, but
yeah, so I assume like either two things. One, um all the other movies were too commie,
oh
too
yeah,
red to win the award at
just
this
like Brokeback
time in the
Mountain was
height of the Cold War.
just like
So
Brokeback
they
Mountain was
decided,
too gay.
yeah, to be like, really, it's too gay, really? I wouldn't have thought. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's one.
the communism stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
let's
one
see.
thing. Yeah, like
I forgot about that theory
what
actually.
was the writer of Quiet Man, like
He was blacklisted.
he was black. He was a blacklist kind of guy. Some people assume that High Noon is an allegory for communism or
because
something along those lines.
John Wayne was offered the part in High Noon but declined it because of that.
So yeah, so
It went to Gary Cooper instead, and he won an Oscar for the movie.
yeah, he's great in the movie.
Mhm.
Um, but what I like to think it was why they gave it Best Picture and Best Director to Cecil B. DeMille is because he's old. He was a mainstay in Hollywood. He's a big box office guy. They were like, give him a gimme.
Yeah.
Give him this one
Mm-hmm.
for old Cecil. So
So
But
anyway,
but
that's why I think. Anyway, but let's talk about something a little more positive.
okay.
We're always focusing on the negative here. Let's focus on what you think
yeah,
is
so let's
the films that most
Okay.
deserved the Best Picture award.
in
I guess
Zach's mind.
I guess I can go top 20 because I'm not going to talk about each movie too much because I mean what hasn't been said about some of these movies already.
Mm.
Fair
I'll
enough.
start with the top 20 from the bottom. So number 20, I had The Sound of Music. Number 19, I had the original All Quiet on the Western Front from the 30s. 18, I had From Here to Eternity. 17, I had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest as the
Wow,
17th greatest Best Picture winner.
That's a
that
good
was a
16,
one.
great year. That was a
that
great
was a
year.
great year. That
That was a
was a
great year.
tough one. I definitely think it was a year where, again, like '94, where a lot of things could have went a different way. Um, 16, I had Ben Hur from 1959. 15, All About Eve, 1950.
Not a bad year. Not a bad year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely films that deserved to win over some other films that were
Mm-hmm.
nominated that year, definitely. But All About Eve is probably a really good win.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I thought so too. I was just speaking of it. You guys are probably more. This is probably, or besides, I would say one of my one or two of them in the top 10 because they're in our lifetimes. Um, 14, I had Forrest Gump as the 14th greatest Best Picture winner, but obviously we probably talked about it before. It hasn't really been a focused topic, but 1994 was probably the last really great year for movies, unless you count. I don't know, 20. That could be a topic for another day. Any years in the 21st century, but
Right.
Oh, yeah.
1994 was awesome. I
Yeah, I
learned the
feel
other
like we
day.
talked about it on here.
I learned the other day that Pulp Fiction, The Shawshank Redemption, came out the same weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it was
That's
like one of them
that's
was a
like
wide
how
release or a
that's like how
small
Blade
release.
Runner and The Thing came out like the same day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's cool.
Number 13, I had Parasite.
I remember you
2019 was
watched
a
that
good
one
year for
pretty
movies.
late. I
I
remember
went
you watched that pretty
2019.
later on.
Yeah, well, I didn't have Hulu, so and it
No,
wasn't
that's
on
fair.
and it wasn't on Criterion yet. Although I still don't have the Criterion of it.
No, that's fair. All right.
Yeah, 12. I have Rocky, which I know Matt you recently watched.
I'll get into that. Don't you worry your pretty little head.
All right, 11. I have in the heat. 11. I have in the heat of the night. From 67, another really strong year for movies. Besides 1939, I would say 1967 is my favorite year for films. 10, I have The Apartment,
I just recently
1960.
watched. I just recently watched that one.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Number 9, I had Moonlight. That's the most recent one in the top 10.
Oh,
8, oh yeah. 8, I
I
have
was
The
gonna
Lord of the
say
Rings. Oh, go ahead,
wait.
Alex.
No, I was gonna say wait. What about Parasite? And then you said top 10, so I just
Yeah.
Yeah,
had
so we're in the top
to.
10. That was number 13.
Yep. So 10, The Apartment. Number 9 is Moonlight. The eighth greatest Best Picture winner in my ranking, I have The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which went a perfect 11 for 11 at the Academy Awards of 2004, honoring the movies from 2003. Number 7, I have The Godfather, Part 2.
I
Yes.
need to see
It
that
looks
one.
I'm seeing your list on your
I
letterbox,
like
and
how
that
you
is
questioned that. Was
ooh.
I like how you questioned it?
Part 2? Question mark.
Yeah, Part 2 is number 7. Number 6, my favorite film of all time, Gone with the Wind, number 6.
Yes.
Some of you probably like, wait, why isn't it your number
Wait,
1?
wow, why isn't it
Let,
number
let him get into
1?
that.
I'll get into that. 5. So now in the top 5, everybody. Number 5, I have, speaking of allegories for communism, On the
That's
Waterfront,
fine.
number 5. That's the famous, for those of you who don't know, that's the famous, I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a
A
bum, which
bum.
is what I am. Let's face it. It was you, Charlie. Number 4, I have the OG, The Godfather, which a lot of you have probably seen, those listening.
Yes.
All right, so this top 3 was really tough, almost like kind of like my top 10. So my top 3 was tough because these movies, I feel, well, besides them being the greatest, are just kind of like timeless. So number 3, I have Schindler's List from 1993.
Yep. I recently watched that not too long ago. That was really good. But once was enough.
Oh yeah, I will probably never watch it again. Although if I do ever watch it again, I will probably skip a lot of it because uncomfortableness, which is the point. Number 2, I have the epic movie that Matt and I saw this year, but we didn't see it together due to scheduling conflicts.
Right.
Lawrence of Arabia from 1962, the year my dad was born.
Nice.
cool.
70 millimeter.
All right, quit bragging.
Yeah, well, it's coming back. It's coming back at 70 millimeters. So, Alex, you can go yourself and see it.
I have Matt's 4K of it.
That'll do, I guess. And the number one. So, do you guys know what my number one is?
Yeah, I do.
Matt
What
probably
could
knows
it
too.
be?
What could it be, everybody? So, what movies did I not name? I mean, that would probably fit. Actually, that's too hard. Number one is. Dun, dun,
What
dun,
do you think it is,
dun.
kid?
We'll always have
Oh, yeah,
Paris.
Matt kind of gave it away. It's Casablanca, isn't it?
It's Casablanca, however you want to say it. That is the best picture winner, in my opinion, according to those four criteria I laid out, because it's just a perfect movie. I don't really have, again, what hasn't been said that's been said. The setting, the quotes, the messages, the action, the romance, the
The performances.
actors, yeah, the performances, the directing, the cinematography, the costumes, the sound, the score. It's Casablanca, which,
Nice.
funny enough, not a lot of people paid attention to that year because we were in a world war, and there was some similar movies that came out that year that people saw more of than that movie. But it is a movie that is one of those movies where it's like Citizen Kane, which but didn't win Best Picture. One of the Best Picture winners that got more widely seen and better with time, like a fine wine.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if like Song of Bernadette won that year.
I know,
I
which
don't think
I did.
I don't think we'd be talking about
No, we
about
better be.
Song of Bernadette as we do with Casablanca.
No, if that was the case, then North Arabia would have been number one.
Right.
Um, but Song of Dead is a good movie, but it's not worthy of Best Picture winning.
Nice.
But yeah, that's my ranking. Do you guys have any thoughts about my top 20 or top 10 or the list itself?
No, I mean, I've looked through it. It looks good to me. What do you
Matthew?
think?
Interesting. Now I have to do like watching every single Best Picture winner,
I'm
which
trying to
is
do that.
something that I have been doing over the summer. Can I segue into my segment?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you may,
can.
Matt. Thank you. I'm all set. Thank you, guys. Once we get the socials up, I'll think about maybe posting the ranking list so you all that are listening or active listeners can see it for yourselves. The rest of my list. But Matt, go ahead.
Okay, so over the summer I have challenged myself to watch one movie a day. Now that's something that I already do in October for my annual Spooktober, where I do like one horror movie a day. Some stuff that I've liked, some that I haven't seen before, in order to make myself see more horror movies that I just haven't seen, since horror is one of my favorite genres. But I just wanted to see more stuff because I felt like I wasn't seeing more films. Sometimes I wouldn't see a movie for like an entire week or something like that because I'm either busy or I have too much anxiety or something like that. Details. This is Kino Therapy, but I'm not going to go through my personal therapy with you just yet. We don't know each other. Audience member? Anyway, I wanted to watch. I have this watch list. Well, not my letterbox watch list. I have like a 100 film like what should I watch in the next year list that I do like at the beginning of the year, and I try to whittle that down. I was able to whittle it down like quite a few of the films off that list with this watchathon, which is pretty good.
There we go.
Let me
Here we
read
go.
let me read the little thing I wrote in the on the list. I have given myself a challenge: watch at least one film a day between Memorial Day all the way through Labor Day, which is yesterday. I can finally goddamn relax. God damn it.
You made
I'm gonna
it, Matt. You made it. Matthew Reed, you made it.
gonna expand my watching capabilities. and hope to push myself to see more stuff I haven't seen or want to see or catch up from films with this year, which I did watch a couple of those. I did not a lot, but I did watch a couple. As well as other things, I want to try to rewatch other films as well. Some stuff that I haven't seen in a while.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wanted to
Right.
try to figure out my top 100 favorites list, which you can currently view, updated currently on my letterbox as of today.
Nice.
I watched some queer films in June. I binged the entire Rocky franchise. I can briefly get into that, as well as watching some Best Picture winners and Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, which I didn't watch the first two of, even though I own them. I've obviously seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
Echo
but I
trilogy.
wanted to watch. I wanted to watch the other two films, which I finally have. So
I think Alex would like those. They aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I think Alex could appreciate those.
anyway, I pushed myself to watching stuff that, you just have those films that you want to watch, but you just haven't gotten to them. You feel like you should have watched them years ago, and if you tell someone that you haven't seen it, you'd be embarrassed because you'd be like, "You haven't seen that?" You
Yeah,
know. I watched a
that
couple of those, and I finally did. I finally felt accomplished.
I did that also this summer with some movies.
Yeah. I started with the film Monsieur Hulot's Holiday, which is a film from Jacques Tati, famous French comedian. Um, think of him as like a chaplain, but for the French. But instead of being like this mustachioed tramp, he's kind of like this very tall, slender, kind of clumsy man who happens upon various circumstances.
There you go.
I've seen two of his other films, Mon Uncle and Playtime, and they're all really good. This was also the same day where Zack and I watched Furiosa. So if you remember, that was Memorial Day actually.
Yes, it was. That was a good day.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
glad I
I'll
saw that in IMAX with you.
Yeah, I'll note a couple of things. Uh, I watched Hitman with our good friend Mike. I remember that. There was the day where all of us went to see It's Such a Beautiful Day. All three of us.
Yes.
Yep. Great movie. Probably the most surprised I've experienced seeing a movie in a while for liking it.
But none of us
Yeah.
sat together. But
Well,
No, that was yeah, that was it was a crowded theater. It was very booked.
yeah.
What else? Should I note one film that was on my watch list for so long that I was embarrassed that I would say that I hadn't seen yet?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I actually hadn't seen Saving Private Ryan at all.
I watched it years ago.
Yeah,
Matt, I also
exactly.
have not seen the whole thing either.
You've not seen the whole thing? Oh well, we better watch
So
it
you don't have
together.
to feel bad.
Yeah,
Oh
don't feel
yeah, no,
bad. I've
no
seen
problem.
I've seen the first hour or two. I don't
Well,
remember.
it's a long movie, so I get it.
Yeah, so it's a really good film. So, um, I'm glad I finally watched it.
Yeah, good
Uh,
for you.
I saw Lawrence of Arabia in 70 millimeter with a friend of mine, Caleb. He's a friend from college. We all know him,
Yep.
but he lives far away. But I was able to convince him to see it, and he took the bus.
Wow.
Yeah, he took the bus.
That's awesome. I'm glad you saw it with somebody. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so this was in June, and I'm like, hey, it's gay month, so why don't watch a couple of queer films? So I watched Call Me by Your Name, Children's Hour, Children's Hour,
Yep.
the British film Pride, um, which is really good. I'd recommend that one. One of Zach's favorites, The Birdcage. I rewatched that.
Yep. I watch that every Pride
Me
month.
too.
Wong Kar Wai's Happy Together, really good film. And I rewatched two favorite queer films of mine: Portrait of a Lady on Fire and Tropical Malady. I also that I also started rewatching or watching for the first time a bunch of like Alfred Hitchcock films. Spellbound,
Oh
Rope.
yeah, I noticed you were doing
Rope is a
that.
gay film, so I started doing that. I
Yeah,
started doing it with Rope,
the first time
and
I
then
ever saw it was with you guys.
and then I watched like Spellbound, Lifeboat, the original Man Who Knew Too Much. I watched what else did I watch? Strangers on a Train, uh, Suspicion.
That's a
I
movie
was
I still need to see.
I was thinking of watching Rear
Psycho.
Window at the end there, but
Yeah.
I just barely missed it.
What about
So
Psycho? Are you
Psycho.
watching that
I
in
wasn't.
October?
I don't know yet.
Mhm.
I
You'll have
watched the
to
movie
think about it.
Charade, which is kind of like a Hitchcock film, but it's not directed by Hitchcock. That was directed by Stanley Doden.
Oh yeah, Stanley Donen. Yes,
Donen, yeah, Donen.
Donen.
Donen?
Yes,
Yeah, no, it
Don
looks
Donen.
like. Yeah, no, it looks like
Donen.
the guy who did Singing in the Rain. There we
Yeah.
go. No, but it looks like a
Who actually I think he's either still alive or he passed away not too long ago.
2019.
Yeah,
No, but the
one of the great.
poster makes. I was just gonna say the poster makes it look like it's a Hitchcock movie. So but
Yeah, everyone says it's like the best Hitchcock movie Hitchcock never made.
Yeah, people do
it's
say
kind
that.
of
Yeah,
it's kind of like saying, Tim Burton did The Nightmare Before Christmas, but he didn't, and it's kind of
Right.
like
no,
saying Steven Spielberg did Poltergeist, but he didn't. So
right. They were involved in those, but yes, they didn't direct those.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
that's a
like
good
that.
comparison.
It sounds like, but
Yeah,
I've also been whittling down, trying to watch all the films from the uh, uh, what I consider to be like burgeoning cinephiles' first film list, the American Film Institute list, which I was surprised of that I haven't seen all the films from their last top 100 that they did back in 2007. So I was like, hey, why don't I start watching all these? So
good
I've
for
been
you,
doing that
Matt.
as well, and I might continue doing that.
You should get as
Films
much as
like
you can.
films like Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Um,
Hey, I haven't seen that. We can watch that together.
oh, I mean, I had already watched it, but you know what? It's really
Oh,
good,
sorry,
so
sorry,
I
you
might
said
as
that.
well. So I could watch it again, you know.
Yeah.
And then what else? I watched what else was on there that I seen? American Graffiti. I surprisingly hadn't seen that. Another movie where I was like, uh, didn't want to admit that I hadn't seen it yet. Grapes of Wrath, um, Cabaret, Tootsie, um, Sophie's Choice. A Place in the Sun was on the original list back in 1998. Um, yeah.
cool.
So I might whittle down all the ones that I hadn't seen, so that way I'm finally done with that goddamn list. The only one that will irk me to watch is at the entry from the original 1998 list. That is very controversial. If you
All
know what I
right.
mean.
Yes.
Zach knows what I mean.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do.
That
I do.
frickin' D.W. Griffith and his
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
racist movie.
Which
Oh, Prince
Anyway,
of a
isn't the
Nation.
first. I watched it in college. Isn't the first half of the movie like?
a
I mean,
Civil War drama.
yeah, and then it becomes really, really bad.
I mean,
Not
it doesn't start off good.
Oh yeah,
It
I
starts off
forgot
with all
about
the
the song.
black slaves like dancing and having a good time. Woohoo, we love being enslaved, you know? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
let's take a moment away from this. There's a drama between two families in the Civil War or something like that. I don't know. I haven't seen the film yet.
To quote Jay Leno when Hugh Grant had a huge scandal in the '90s. What were you thinking, D whatever Griffith? What were you thinking making that movie?
Yeah.
Hugh Grant
And
had a huge sex scandal in the '90s, and it was a big deal. And Jay
Oh,
Leno, Jay Leno was number 2 to Dave Letterman in the ratings for the late night talk shows, and that interview single handedly put Jay Leno on top for the rest of his career in late night.
oh well, thank you for
Explaining that context and that joke. Anyway, go ahead, Matt.
at the beginning of the July, I watched all the Rocky films. I had only watched the first Rocky, and I'm like, I want to watch the rest. I didn't watch the Creed films just yet, but I might get to that sometime later.
Yeah, you should. Those are good.
Yeah, so I mean, Rocky. I mean, you mentioned it in your best picture. It's a really good, very uplifting film. But weirdly, um, I don't know. It's everyone says it's like this very uplifting, but sometimes it's very like it can be a little dark at points. It's very like, but it's a very humanistic kind of movie, you know.
Yeah, I get what you're
But
saying.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also
yeah.
comparatively, the other movies like are kind of, especially later in the franchise, are way over the top. So
They are, which
there's
they
that.
probably were going for. Yeah, like that was another reason why I had it so high on my ranking for best picture. Is I don't know. He felt like Sylvester Stallone felt like Rocky Balboa. He felt like a Philly boxer that was like an underdog. And then, as you said, the movies later on, the sequels got just so outrageous.
Yeah. Now Rocky 2 was also really good.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
I feel like it's almost as good as Rocky 1, but not quite.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because at points I feel like, whoa, this is all the like a bunch of stuff is getting like a little heavy, you know?
Hmm. This is heavy, Doc.
Yeah, this is heavy, Doc. Heavy.
Heavy, heavy, heavy.
You know. Rocky 3 I enjoyed, but I don't think I loved as much as I wanted to love it. But Mr. T as Clubber Lang is really good.
Yes. Also having
And
Apollo
and
be the
also
coach.
Apollo's character arc throughout the first like uh 3 movies is I think fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm glad his son in the universe got his own series.
Yeah, and Rocky 4, which I watched on the 4th of July, as our friend Caleb usually does. So I was inspired by him to watch to watch it on the in early July, so I can watch it on the 4th of July. Because it's a very American movie, and it's such a ridiculous, over the top movie that I can't help but really like it. Um,
Nice.
Yeah. America.
yeah, if I could change, if you could change, we all can change. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, literally, as some people say, Rocky Balboa challenged the world to end the Cold War, and it ended
Yeah.
then.
And then on that same day, I watched 2 other very summary kind of 4th of July kind of movies. Blowout by De Palma
Oh yeah,
with
with what's their face?
John
Oh yeah,
Travolta and Nancy
yeah.
Allen.
Oh yeah,
Really good kind of thriller. I highly recommend it. And I also watched Jaws because
of
that's a very
course.
good
As
4th
one
of July
does, yeah.
watch, of course.
I try to watch that on
Uh,
July 4th.
Rocky 5 is definitely the worst one.
Yeah,
Rocky 5
Yeah.
is definitely the worst one.
I
I
barely could. I barely
I
finished Rocky 5.
I didn't really care for it. It was at times where it was like, man, Rocky's like weirdly out of character in this one at points.
And it's almost like the series had run its course at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about
I
it.
heard there was a rumor that he wanted to kill him off at the
Oh
end of this
yeah,
film.
There was rumors that he wanted to be killed off or they wanted to kill him off in the third Creed movie, and he said no, or the studio said no.
Hmm.
But he wasn't in Creed 3, so
Maybe that's
Well,
why.
I guess that was the compromise. I guess he just wasn't in it at all.
And then Rocky Balboa, which wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I
it's not bad. I
I
saw
might
that
need to
years
revisit,
ago.
but it
Years ago.
it does return to sort of like the similar uh street walking, like kind of like similar to like what the first Rocky was going with,
Yeah,
but to a point where it was like well, it feels like it's trying to match a lot of the stuff in the first, so it's like nostalgia, kind of like, oh, look at it's Rocky, you know.
that's like
um
what some movies I
but at,
find just side. Yeah,
but at some point it's like, I really like it, but sometimes it's a little noticeable, you know. Yeah,
yeah.
like
I don't
with
like
a
how
lot of the
a lot of people are saying that right now about Alien Romulus, which I've yet to see. A lot of people are saying Alien Romulus is really good, but it's trying too much to be like Alien and Aliens.
yeah.
Like too many Easter eggs, too much fan service, but it's also really good.
mm,
That's what it kind of reminded me of when you said that about Rocky Balboa, the film.
yeah.
So, did you like that franchise?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching all of them. Yeah.
Nice.
And then what else? I watched a bunch of Charles Boyer films. As an actor from like the 30s and 40s. Um I want to watch more Charles Boyer films. He was so good in History is Made at Night.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
just haven't
like
seen. I've seen most of that movie.
hell yeah. I think I told you, it was like okay, so spoilers for History is Made at Night. So I read it was a romance film that eventually turns into a disaster film. And I was like apprehensive about it. And then in the middle of the movie, Colin Clive, who all I can see is like Dr. Frankenstein. That's all I see him as. He's like the antagonist in the film, and he says, "Oh, I'm getting a ticket for the Hindenburg," and I'm like, "Oh no, were they on the tarmac during the Hindenburg disaster?" But then it turns out that nobody gets to go on the Hindenburg. And I was like, "Oh wow, that's a I breathed a sigh of relief," and I was like, "When did the Hindenburg disaster come out? And when did this movie come out in relation to the Hindenburg? 2 months before."
2 months before.
2 months before the Hindenburg disaster,
That's
this
like
movie
making.
came out.
That's like making Titanic. A Titanic movie, January 1912, and then April 1912, the Titanic sinks. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to make light of the Titanic. Just like I imagine, Matt, you're not making light of the Hindenburg disaster.
No, but there was eventually like they were on a boat, and the boat eventually starts sinking.
Yeah.
So like the Titanic.
Yes.
Spoilers, but it's a really good film, and I highly recommend it.
Sounds interesting.
And then at the beginning of August, I decided to do a thing where I was like, I want to watch one movie from each decade. I watched The Navigator.
I did
I'm a
that one summer,
from the
Matt.
I'm the Navigator from the 20s. I'm a fugitive from a chain gang from the 30s. Grapes of Wrath from the 40s. I rewatched the film Niagara, great film noir with Marilyn Monroe from the 50s.
Oh, yes, that's been on my watch list for a while.
Uh, in the smack dab in the middle, I watched a documentary from like the 2010s. So, but it's a fantastic. I love this documentary. It's called Dawson City: Frozen Time. It's about in the 70s they unearthed buried in a uh, uh, an old swimming pool that was dug in. They had found a treasure trove of lost films preserved in the Alaskan permafrost in this once gold rush boom town, Dawson City.
Ooh,
And
cool.
the documentary basically goes through like it tells the history of Dawson City through all of this degraded film, and it's like beautifully degraded film. The director Bill Morrison does a lot of stuff with the sort of look and degradation of old film. It's really cool how he does it.
That is cool.
So yeah, and then I continued. I rewatched Belle de Jour, which Kathleen Deneuve plays a daytime prostitute. Um, that's from the '60s. In the '70s, I finally watched Cabaret. Um, some of these films I actually finished right before midnight. This was one of those movies I finished like at 11:59. I watched
Nice.
Oh,
Tootsie. I
jeez.
watched Tootsie from the '80s. I watched Bringing Out the Dead from the '90s. I watched the Robin Williams thriller 1 Hour Photo from the 2000s, and I finally watched one of the last Best Picture winners from the last decade that I hadn't seen, Shape of Water from the 2010s.
You have not seen The Shape of Water?
I had not seen The Shape of Water before
Oh
this summer.
God.
Yes. I adored it. I got to admit. I don't know why. It's a film that was really up my alley. So I knew you. I knew there would be like a thing like that.
Yeah.
That's the feeling that you got to avoid with some things. It's like, oh, I haven't seen it, and then you'd be like, what? You haven't seen it? It's almost like the cinematic equivalent of what are you stupid or something?
Right.
Not to be
Right.
mean about to you, Zach. But you
No,
know
I
what I
know,
mean.
I
You
know.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
And like I said, I watched the Dollars trilogy, but obviously the best one is Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Uh, remember when we watched Heat together? So I
Yeah.
got these
Yep.
two and another friend of ours, Peter. We got together. We came over to my place. We got a bunch of snacks. We got pizzas, and we watched Heat. Unfortunately, my projector broke like an hour before the end, and then we just had to watch it up in my room. So, but we had a projector outside and a screen and all that, and it was gonna be nice. And I got really mad, and I punched the wall, and you guys saw me all get mad. So that was not cool.
Mm.
Sorry about
It's
that.
all right. It's all right. They're good.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on the anger and things like that. So it's like I'm not going to go through my personal therapy. It's called Kino Therapy, but
Right. Yep.
I'd rather not.
Movie therapy,
Movie,
film
yes.
therapy.
um. So yeah, and then I finished it off with a yesterday, by going to the movie theater and watching the movie Sing Sing,
I've heard
with
that's really good.
it's really good with Coleman Domingo. If you thought he was really good in Rustin, this film, his
He was
performance in this film,
so good in Rustin.
it blows it out of the water.
Oh my
He's
god.
really good.
Because Rustin as a film was just pretty good, but him as Rustin was so good.
Admittedly, yes. I think Rustin was a okay film, but it's
They
one
could
of
have,
those sort of
yeah.
biopic-y kind of films.
I've just seen so many of those at this point.
Exactly. It feels like it's in a similar mold of something else, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's about Rustin. He was a gay black man, and he helped with the civil
Civil
rights
rights movement.
movements,
Yeah.
especially the March on Washington and things like that. And he's pretty important, and it's great that we have a film that talks about him.
That's like the
But
RBG movie that they made
but
when she was young and not a Supreme Court justice. Or
let me tell you, Sing Sing is really good. So,
Selma.
for those who don't know, it takes place in the prison, Sing Sing, and Coleman Domingo plays a prisoner, and he's part of this acting theater program that they commit that they do in the prison. Um, and he's in it. Paul Raci is in it. If you remember him, he had a fantastic supporting role in Sound of Metal a couple years ago. But the rest of the cast is real former prisoners who were part of this theater program, and they're all playing themselves in the film. And really, there's like a lot of A lot of good performance, especially from Clarence Macklin. He's really good. It's like his first role, his first dramatic film role, and he's really good in it. So man, I wish I could take you all to go see the movie. So it's really good.
Where is it? Is it playing anywhere close? Because I went on Fandango yesterday and nothing was
Uh,
coming up.
Dedham. It's playing in Dedham at the community
Okay.
theater.
Okay, I've never been there, so
I should take you there.
okay.
Yeah.
We can see. We don't have to see it again, but we can go there some later date.
No, I wouldn't mind going to see Sing Sing again.
Cool. Yeah, I would like that because I don't know when it's going to come to, I don't know, non places in Dedham.
Yeah.
Probably not till
Fair enough.
probably not till what, the fall? I know we're not really in the fall technically yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Oh man, A24 is really fucking up this film's like rollout. It's really bad.
Yeah, why are they doing that? They're just too indie. Just
I don't
kidding.
know. I don't know
Not
why they do it.
mainstream enough.
They're very bad
Yeah,
at
they're not mainstream enough. You think after Civil War, which was their first #1 movie at the box office, you think they would cut the crap and release their movies in a wider format?
Yeah, you would think, but no. I hope they don't fuck it up with Sing Sing, but
I
it's
know
almost seeming like they kind
They
of are.
will.
they are, which they didn't probably mean to, but they still are.
Well, whatever. And then I finished it off last night by watching one of my favorite movies, one of my top 10 favorite movies, Cinema Paradiso, to end off the summer. Beautiful film about the power and the terrifying process of nostalgia. I love it and I cry every single time I watch it.
It's a great
Very
movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I definitely want to rewatch it.
Yeah. So
uh,
if you guys ever do that, it's a process, and I gotta tell you, as sometimes it feels like I was going through the motions of watching a film. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
at some points it was like, oh, I have like, let me force myself to watch it. But then eventually I'm like, yeah, let me get into it. Yeah, So
yeah.
it's like some
Right.
days I watch like 2 things a day. I know this isn't a problem for Alex.
This is a problem for me.
Yeah.
I can, at most, will watch one film a day.
But let me tell you, I feel accomplished
Yeah,
in a way.
well, we've all done our accomplishments. My best picture
It's it's
ranking,
90
your
it's
thing,
98 days. That's 98 days watching at
nine,
least one film a day.
98 days. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Yeah. Now, how much time do we got?
Oh,
We're
we're
at an
we had
hour and 20 almost.
Hour
hour
20.
20.
Okay.
Yeah,
You want me to go through my last segment?
if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, if you
All
want to.
right. This week's segment will be about a segment of the population that we've before on the pod. You know them. You love them. It's those lovers of anthropomorphized animals. That's right.
Man.
Furries.
No way. Let's get into it.
Man, I wish Ben was here for this segment.
Do you
Yeah,
want to wait to talk about it with him then, or do
yeah,
you
do you
still?
want to wait
No,
to
no,
talk about it
no.
with him? You sure? All
Let's have
right.
him edit the podcast and then be like, "What they talked about? Furries?"
Yeah, don't nobody tell him.
Yeah, nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Now, I want for this segment we're not only talking about furries, but we're also talking about hacking. I want to specifically talk about two of the most recent furry related hacking incidents.
Oh, don't say they hacked one of the presidential nominees
No,
because
technically
one of them
not.
was
No,
hacked.
no. Hold on. I'll tell you about it. There's not just one. There's 2 furry related hacking stories that happened this summer alone.
Two?
2.
That's too many.
All right. So for the first one, I'm going to talk about one that happened in July. with the hacktivist group known as Siege a group of self-described gay furry hackers. That is what they call themselves. They hacked and leaked data from the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation. Now, for those who don't know, the Heritage Foundation is one of the most influential nonprofit policymakers in the country right now. They are the masterminds behind the 2025 Presidential Transition Project, better known as Project 2025. For those blissfully unaware, Project 2025 is basically the conservative plan for the federal government should Donald Trump be elected as president this November. It's the plan basically is consolidate power through the president using the Unitarian executive theory. If you don't know what that is, just Google it.
There we go.
Hold on. Remember when Biden tweeted out Google Project 2025?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was funny. He could
And
have
what?
mentioned it during the debate, but he
What?
didn't.
What people thought he was talking about Google had a project for Project 2025. Is that what
No,
you're getting at?
no. He just said Google it.
Oh
Basically,
yeah.
that's what he
Yeah.
tweeted out one
He could have
time.
did so much better at that debate, but anyway.
Well, we don't need to talk about that anymore.
No
Luckily.
politics. But
Basically
furry.
basically the plan it lays out like the conservative plan to gut the administrative state and fill it with a bunch of Trump loyalists.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
Yeah,
that's pretty much like and a bunch of like
that's a
other
very
conservative related
good and
stuff.
brief
But
explanation.
But I digress. Now, due to this plan, there were prime targets for these gay furries as part of their campaign called Op Trans Rights. The leaked data was meant to create transparency of whom was supporting the Heritage Foundation, and these leaks contained names, email addresses, and passwords to people who were linked to the foundation and to Project 2025. Now, that's a whole story of its own. What I really want to talk about is a furry website-related hacking that happened not too long ago, where the shoe was on the other paw, I guess. So hopefully Alex can leave you a link to the Rolling Stone article about the about Siege Sec and the Heritage Foundation down in the description, the doobly-doo.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So, have any of you heard about the website Fur Affinity?
No.
No. Okay, so, well, for those who don't know, Fur Affinity is a website that hosts furry-related art as well as stories and photos. It's basically like a part of furry social media platform. It was launched in 2005 by a user known as Alcora. And was owned for most of its life as a website by an individual known as Sean Pike. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. But he was better known under the name Dragoneer. All right. He has, unfortunately, recently, Dragoneer has passed away before the events of the story that I'm about to tell you.
All right.
So, all in all, Fur Affinity is a very popular website. Hope is hosting a bunch of furry-related art. Yes, especially that not safe for work stuff. The website is very popular, receives about 20 million monthly visits.
That's a lot.
Our story brings us to August 20th, 2024, almost 2 weeks ago from this recording.
Mm-hmm.
The furries would go to their accounts on the
I feel like we're in like a
art
true
sharing
crime like
platform,
investigation show right now.
basically. Only to be met. So they went to Fur Affinity only to be met with something different. The web domain had been hacked. It appears that the website had bad DNS security, and a hacker had changed the webmail to their own account. So at different times, the main page would host something different. But first, the web page looked similar to that of Fur Affinity itself, but not quite. It was a Shopify page. So it was believed that it was meant to be like a phishing scam, meant to harvest users' logins. So the mods sent out a message on their Discord saying not to interact with the website, not to log in with their personal info until the domain was eventually secured. So then it was war. The furries trying to regain control of the domain between hacker and a war between the hacker and the original domain holder. So as the furry owners were trying to, without avail, to get the website control back under control, trying to get a hold of Network Solutions customer service for help. The hacker gained control of the Fur Affinity Twitter account. Oh no! The hacker probably just I don't know, did a password reset.
Probably something like that.
It's probably very easy sometimes to hack into a Twitter account related to a website if you've already hacked into that website,
Yeah.
Now, the hacker would tweet from the official account saying stuff
Oh
about how,
God.
yeah, you can imagine what they said. About stuff about how furries were pedophiles and disgusting lonely freaks, and how much that they loved the website Kiwi Farms. Now, for those who don't know and are blissfully unaware, I wish I was you. Kiwi Farms is a disgusting cesspool website of people dedicated to dox and harass people online.
I thought it was
Some
something for. I thought it was. I apologize, New Zealand viewers. I thought it's something. Listeners, I thought it's something to do with people calling New Zealand people Kiwis.
If only. Because some of this doxing and harassment has led to cases in which it's led to suicide.
Oh God.
Yes. The
Yeah,
hacker
no.
also had gained control of the Twitter account of the late owner Dragoneer. Now, let me read a post, as it were, a tweet, as we
Please
used to call
do.
them. The
No,
Fur
I still
Affinity
shut up.
The Fur Affinity website, while it was under control of the hacker, tweeted, Diddy was a major contributor to Fur Affinity. He donated 2 million USD to the site in 2013. And then the hacker, under the Dragoneer Twitter, reposted that and said, True, @Diddy was my N-word. We got the same sick fetishes, #pedos.
Oh my gosh.
I think
Now, oh, yes.
know where this is going. No, I'm just like, I feel like this is going
We
to
know where
end
this is
very
going.
poorly.
Now, the domain to the Fur Affinity website would change again, this time redirecting to a Washington Post article called Boy Sexually Abused at Furry Parties by Network of Men. The website would later redirect to the aforementioned Kiwi Farms, although, in a surprising twist, Kiwi Farms would state that they were not affiliated with the hacker. And they would have a reading on their website that would say, This is a joke at both of our expense. Now, this is some high-level anti-furry hate that I don't think the internet has seen in a while. This is all coming out of left field. It's very surprising.
Sounds like it.
It does.
The hacker, for some reason, changed the Fur Affinity Twitter handle to @ILoveKiwi4Lunch. Now, thankfully, a furry by the name of Wanos, I believe that's how you pronounce their name,
Wanos. Good job, Wanos.
Would take the Fur Affinity handle and hold it as their own for the duration of the hack until he can finally, or they, I don't know what their gender is.
This person.
This furry held on to the Fur Affinity Twitter handle and for the duration of the hack, and eventually gave it back. Now, another part of the saga, admittedly, this is also a funny one. The Fur Affinity hacker used the site and the Twitter account to try to shill a cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency was called Felix, and luckily people saw through this immediately. Now, the hacker later bragged that he had people's money anyway through a picture of an inspect element altered picture showing a claimed $15 million that they acquired through the scam. Which was not true, mostly because in the picture it also showed a net loss of 30K. Not 30K, 300K. Oops. People were just dogging this hacker relentlessly on Twitter for being stupid. I didn't mean for the dog pun. That was not intended. Eventually, the owners of the website gained control back from the hacker, and it was locked down. But eventually, they regained control of the Twitter account as well as Dragoneer's Twitter account. Fur Affinity would eventually come back online after our little 2-day saga. This was just over 2 days. A note was eventually placed on the banner of the website reading, "All of our base belong to us." That's an old internet meme for those in the know. But now the question is, who hacked Fur Affinity? This actually isn't the first time that Fur Affinity has been hacked, but it's the most recent time. The last time was, I think, way back in the day. Like, I don't know, a couple years ago. Way, like, a lot of years ago. Now, right now, no one really knows who the hacker was, at least at the time where I wrote this. I heard a rumor that it was Sam Hyde. Now, if you don't know who Sam Hyde is, he's a comedian. He's a right-wing provocateur. He was part of a comedy group known as Million Dollar Extreme. They had like a show on Adult Swim at one point. I wouldn't take that too much stock into that. I've heard claims that Sam Hyde did school shootings, that he was the one who shot Shinzo Abe, that he was the one who shot Donald Trump, that tried to assassinate him, stuff like that. It seems like when people don't know who did a bad thing, the internet goes to assume it's Sam Hyde. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't take I wouldn't take that. I saw a rumor that it was, and I saw multiple things that it was him. I don't think it's him. But rest assured, if someone wants to find out who this is, they will. This person pissed off the furry community, which contains big tech people and those activists, like I mentioned, SeekSec. Although SeekSec probably won't do anything about it, because after the Heritage Foundation hacking, they eventually disbanded. But not only that, this person angered probably one of the most prolific doxing forums on the internet. You got the furries and the Kiwis joining forces. As far as I'm concerned, you're probably as good as dead. Now, I'll leave off with what the user Fender wrote at the end of the aforementioned Fur Affinity journal I mentioned earlier. Now, finally, we want to extend our deepest gratitude to all of you for your unwavering support during this incredibly difficult time. Your kindness, patience, and understanding have meant the world to us as we navigated these challenges together. We are committed to continuing to foster a creative and welcoming environment for all. And it is your strength and solidarity that make our community truly special. Thank you for standing with us. So I think if we were to get anything from this is community, strong, together, hacker bad. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
Now to end, I also want to thank the Twitter user Hakopla1. I probably butchered that, but yeah, for having a detailed breakdown of the hack while it was happening. So thank you to them.
Well
Yeah,
done.
that's pretty dumb. So we had football, we had Sarah Hyland, we had Best Picture winners, we had summer watchathons, and we had gay furries.
The furries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
we got a lot of things.
I think this was a pretty good episode. What do you think?
It was a very
Yes.
good episode. I look forward to seeing what the title's going to be. Who's in charge of the titles? I forget.
I make the
Uh,
titles
um, we should
based on
call it.
suggestion.
We should call it. Um, I thought I would have one immediately when I said, "Oh, we should call it," but I actually don't.
Some combination of all the things you just listed.
Pretty much. I mean, like, I'll say Sarah Hyland and a gay furry or something
No,
like that.
no,
Or
no,
say
no.
a Best Picture winning Sarah Hyland film featuring furries during the release of football season.
There we go.
No, that's too much. That's too
Yeah,
much.
no, I'll think of something for sure.
Something that encompasses all the topics.
All right. Oh, and then watch out for the Facebook page.
Yes, that's coming. It will already be up when this is uploaded, but yeah, like and subscribe to the Facebook page. I will probably try to add some other social media pages to this, but just for now, I figured start off with the basic and go
It'll
from there.
probably be called Kino Therapy, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Yep, thank
Yeah.
you.
Anyway,
And
yes, have a great day.
a good start to your fall.
Yeah. Some
Your
back to
pumpkin spice
school.
lattes.
Yeah, pumpkin spice.
Who are
Yeah,
we,
back to
basic?
school, football season. We have an
Wait, Alex,
election
what did
in
you
2
say?
months.
I said Zack was basic, but I was kidding.
I'm a basic white chick or basic person.
Yeah, no, I was just
You're
kidding.
basic white.
Person.
Yeah,
I don't want to be calling out anybody.
you basic white bitch.
All right, adios.
All right, adios.